Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'd be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool, it is not the final rule, okay? So it's a good idea to have an empty cup so you can really see what's up. Thank you all for your kindness and support. All contributions are highly appreciated and all are welcome on this channel, okay? Hope you're all doing wonderful and feeling great, okay? Okay, the first card that we have here, collective, is running, escape. Okay, it says running, escape, denial, and excuses. So there could be someone who feels like they want to run or they need. They may be dealing with some circumstances that they're just not ready to discuss right now. This could be a friend or a family member or someone you're in some kind of relationship with, some kind of connection. And this person could be someone who's MIA. Maybe you're unable to reach them at this time. Maybe you've been leaving messages, calling, and they're not responding. And you could feel that they're making excuses or that they're in denial. But I'm picking up, it could be either or, but they're just not ready to have some kind of conversation. Maybe this conversation is involving something you heard, a rumor. You know, if this is a romantic connection, maybe you heard that who you thought, um, was exclusive with you, you may have found out that they are connected to someone else. Okay? And so this person could have been all of a sudden MIA. One moment you're talking to them, the next moment they're gone. And so this could possibly raise some kind of alarm within you like, well, you're not answering my calls, you're MIA, we were just talking and texting, and now you're gone. So you're feeling like they have something to hide. Okay? Whatever this information is, it is something, collective, that has put you in a position of wanting to cut ties with this person. You no longer want to be in a relationship with them. You're desiring not to be around them. This could be something that they are ashamed of, okay? And Spirit is saying they can be ashamed because you were a very good friend, or if this is a dating connection, you were a wonderful spouse to them. So this person could have, I'm picking up possibly like led a double life, um, doing one thing, saying another. You may have found out this person is connected to someone else, dating someone else, You may have even found out this person could have a child or a family somewhere else. And I'm picking up that you two got along very well. There was a lot of like minded energy. Yeah, one second. Yeah, there was a lot of like minded energy. You got along well with this person. Every time that you linked up with them, it was fun, it was laughter until the truth began to be revealed. Okay. And these lies that you have found out could be connected to questions that you have asked this person. Like you've probably already had the conversation, like, well, are you dating anyone, or are you married, or do you have children? And maybe this person told you no with the denial here. Maybe they've told you no several times, and you're shocked, but you're like, wait a minute, these are the same questions that I asked you. So you're desiring to cut ties with this person. I'm picking up, you could have Capricorn placement somewhere in your chart. I'm picking up that you are someone who does not tolerate lying. Now, a lot of people don't tolerate lying, but I'm getting a very strong nature where when you choose to trust someone, male or female, and they cross you by not being honest, that it's something you just don't tolerate. So I'm picking up Capricorn placement somewhere in your chart. You're very stern. You're not a mean person, but you really just don't. You see it as disrespect, and you don't like the inconsideration of not giving you the option. It's not so much of finding out there's someone else because this is something you've been speculating, but it's the fact that, hey, I asked you this at the beginning. All you had to do is just be honest. You're wasting my time and everybody's time. And meanwhile, You're running from having the conversation. You feel like this person should respond, not so you can argue with them, but so you can just have the conversation and I guess have some kind of closure. Okay. You may also find out this person has a reputation. They love to be out and about. They could have Sagittarius placement in their chart somewhere. Okay. You may find out that they're a busybody, and you're not the first person, and this is really a lifestyle for them. They date many, if not any. Okay. You're not the first person that they lied to or cheated on. Okay. Yeah, but you're choosing to cut ties. Yeah. hmm 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 And you're cutting ties because you don't want to move forward and take it further and involve yourself emotionally, become more attached, because the longer you're connected to someone, your feelings get involved even more. So you're getting out of the way so that you don't feel trapped, so that you don't become overly emotionally involved, okay? Involved with this person and hurt yourself. So you're like, look, I'm going to cut my losses now. We can cut ties, Uh, I'm going to stand up for myself and move on about. It's been big fun, but the collective has to run. I'm out of here. Okay. This person may be very shock collective because they are accustomed, as I mentioned, excuse me, this could be a lifestyle for them. So they are accustomed to, dating people and just not giving the full truth. But they're also accustomed to people telling them they're going to leave them and not leaving. They're used to creating additional karmic ties, meaning they meet people, they may not be honest with them. They may find out that, yes, they may have another person on the side or a family on the side. But usually, male or female, they choose to stick around this person for whatever reason. So the way that you are abruptly, and I'm picking up, you are wasting no time, whoever you are. And I'm picking up heavy Capricorn energy in your chart. Like you're no nonsense. But when I say no nonsense, this is a positive. You mean what you say and you say what you mean, and that's it. You're not someone to allow someone to sway you. It is what it is. It's like once you get a verdict, this is the verdict. We're not overturning it, babe. Okay, so yeah, the way that you are sticking, to your moral compass or sticking to your beliefs of how things should go in a friendship, in a romantic connection, whether you're dating, however you define the connection with this person. Once a person cross you, that's it. But they're used to people staying. They're used to people saying they're going to leave and never leaving. They're used to staying connected and being able to call you like, I'm about to come through. What you doing? That kind of energy. But I'm picking up. No, you're cutting ties, and they're not going to be able to pull up anywhere. Okay, unless they're going to stalk you on social media or something. Yeah, yeah. You're showing them the consequences of crossing you. I don't see you letting them back. And basically, the truth is, I understand that people go through things in life, and we all have free will. You can do whatever you choose. It doesn't matter what people think. We know all this, right? But the reality is, if you're in a connection romantically and someone deceives you or lies to you, male or female, does not matter. Most likely, they're going to do you in again eventually. It's okay to forgive. But those who constantly allow it, I mean, they're going to do you in again. They're going to do you in even worse. And I'm not being negative. I just believe that. When you get into the habit of allowing people to sway you, you have to be, if you're going to say, okay, they get one chance. Okay, well, don't turn it into two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, because it's just going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. A person will verbalize anything to you, But in return, does their actions match what they are promising? Does their actions match, what you want you and your relationship to look like or represent? Because one thing for sure and two is for certain is it's very embarrassing to be with someone and you think that they're faithful when in actuality they're not. They're not. Everybody knows but you kind of energy. That's very embarrassing and it is hurtful. Okay. Um, it's embarrassing, it's hurtful. No one wants to be, expressing their love language, and letting everybody know they're madly in love with someone or this is the one. And then everybody knows, but the person they're dating, that this person is not faithful, that this person is lying. Yeah. So, yeah, those are my 2 cents. Yeah, when you met this person, they were wearing a mask. This is a covert narcissist. They are accustomed, as I said earlier, to meeting people, um, either male or female. And the same thing that you are experiencing, Spirit is saying again, you're not the first one. They are accustomed to this kind of behavior. They could be somewhere kikiing about this, thinking it's funny, looking at their phone like, man, I don't know why they hitting me up, you know. Yeah, but you're making the right choice by severing ties and moving forward. There's no reason for you to stick around with a clown. It's time for you to take your power back. You don't want to be in a connection where you feel trapped. Where you go too far, where you stick around month after month, year after year, and 5 years, 10 years, and some people sacrifice their whole life. For a loveless, heartless, disrespectful, disloyal, low vibrational connection or marriage. There are people who sacrifice their whole life, collective. True story. You may know some people with these stories. And people have free will. Look, people can do what they want, but it just is what it is. There are people who are so I don't know if the word is obsession or they're so hung up on saying or feeling like, oh, I have a man or a woman or yes, I'm married. They're so hung up on that they choose to sacrifice their happiness and well being to stay in these unhealthy connections. Yeah, very unhealthy. Not all relationships or marriages are unhealthy, but there are quite a few, 99.999%, that people, be pump faking like it's all, butter on a roll and it isn't, you know, just to say that they have someone because they have not dealt with other parts in their life that they don't feel efficient within themselves. It doesn't mean that they're not efficient. It doesn't mean that they're not good enough, but there are people who have issues with being alone. They have been programmed to demonize it. There are people who are afraid to sit in silence. There are people who are, they don't like dark rooms. Some go bump in the night. You look, they're running. And I'm not being sarcastic, I'm being real. That just means that there are other things within that person that before they chose to connect to that marriage or that live-in spouse. It's different for everybody, okay? That you are choosing to sacrifice your entire life, your happiness, your well-being to be in a connection that you're so miserable in. And folks try to cover it up. They try to put the poker face on, but it is seen. It's obvious. It doesn't matter about how much material wealth you have. Happiness is on the inside. But how long? There are people who really sacrifice their entire life. They sacrifice their happiness. They sacrifice walking in their purpose because sometimes, not all the time, their relationship could intercept their divine purpose. Sometimes, not all the time, the partner that they have chosen can intercept their divine purpose. There could be some disagreements, some interception, some things that is part of your walk that your spouse may not like. And if you're one of those people who's willing to put your whole self on the line just to say you're a unit, yeah, there are people who refuse to walk in their purpose. We're not just put here to do the I'll go back to the 7-layer dip analogy. I have to meet people where they at. I'll go back. We're going to use 7-layer dip analogy. That's the good dip with the bean dip, the meat, the cheese, the sour cream, the guacamole, tomatoes, all that good stuff. But there are people who are willing to do that. Yeah, true story. True story. We're not put here just to go to work, sleep, eat, have a baby, get married, have some grandkids. That's it. You're out of here. We are multidimensional beings. We are limitless beings. We're put here to do much more. And I'm holding this card up here because I'm led to spiritually do that. There are some people who needs to hear it or pass this message on. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm pretty sure you love the vibe. All contributions highly appreciated. And I thank you kindly. I thank you kindly. But how long? How long will you wake up? Like you have salt on your tongue. It's a brand new day. But you're laying, on the side of someone or someone's in your household whom you really don't get along with. You're tolerating each other. How long? Not everybody, but somebody. Not all relationships, but some relationships. Not all marriages, but some marriages. Whether I'm stuffy nosed or not. Mm-hmm. But it needs to be conveyed. Like, how long? And those are the people who are male or female, who are constantly concerned, thinking somebody wants their spouse all the time. If it's on your mind, in your heart, you speak it. And if you've always got in your mind and on your heart that somebody is after you or after your spouse or trying to break up your unhappy home, there's something wrong with that. And it's not the people outside of you. That's when you got to look at the man in the mirror. I say to the late, great Michael Jackson, MJ. That's when you got to look at yourself and say, why is it that I feel that somebody is after my man, my woman? Why is it that I feel that somebody's always trying to break up what I have? This was somebody that needs to hear it. It happens. People cheat. People have affairs. But not every person, because we're talking about cheating here, and Spirit is telling me to bring this up, the reciprocal. But not every person that comes into your life, male or female, is trying to come after your spouse. 99.99% of y'all don't even want your own spouse. You don't even want him or her. So stop being hyper-focused thinking somebody else wants them. That's not all the time, Spirit is saying. There's someone who's hyper-focused on that. And they're so hyper-focused that it's been some misjudgment taking place. It's been some people that's been pushed away and misjudged, stereotype. A lot of assumptions have been made. There's someone carrying an air of hostility. They have a guard up. In general. Yeah. Coughing or not, I'm gonna get this message out. Yeah, true story, collective. So just like in this message, I'm picking up that you're cutting ties with this person. And that's the cohesiveness of what we're speaking about. If you are in any kind of connection, whether you're married, living, spouse, dating, whatever, and you feel like your spouse is running from you, having an affair, maybe they got a double life. That's for you to handle and take care of. But Spirit is saying, because I'm picking up, like I said, you're leaving. You're letting this person go. You're not trying to hang on. When you're dating somebody and you find out they're connected, the best thing you can do is move on and never return. In the day and age that we live in, it can be very risky messing with somebody else's spouse while we're on the topic. It can be very risky. And I ain't talking about no fighting. You can put yourself in some situations that you can't turn back from. I ain't talking about no confrontation. I'm talking about beyond that. Wherever your mind just went, that's what I'm talking about. So the Spirit is saying for somebody out there, it's okay to be aware, but you don't want to live your life constantly worrying about your spouse cheating. If you're in a connection where you got to look to the left and right all day long while you're with this person, that can be very overwhelming for you and the connection. And that can deplete you and also take away enjoying each other. This is a topic that folks have been dealing with forever. But it's something that needs to be addressed. Spirit is saying clearly. It needs to be addressed. Because really, it's nothing you can do. I mean, think about it. People are going to do what they want to do, especially grown folks. Last time I checked, you cannot tell people what to do. So if you choose to be in whatever kind of relationship, no matter what it is, you either going to be with them, trust them. You ain't caught nothing. What I'm talking about is people who assume something's always happening. I'm not speaking about people who has caught something, who caught someone cheating or talk to somebody. This reading is about someone who has evidence of someone being unfaithful. But this message here is about this person leaving immediately and not sticking around. So Spirit has channeled through me to let you know, if you meet somebody and you feel that they're unfaithful, if you get what they always say, oh, you knew the signs. What people say, you saw the signs early, you ignored it. Don't ignore it. That's what Spirit is saying. And don't return. Because I kept saying, you're not returning. That's the right energy. It's not impossible. People tell themselves it's impossible to sever ties. It's not. Just like people tell themselves it's impossible to survive sobriety or practice abstinence or celibacy. It's not hard. It's not difficult. But if you're not ready to make the change in your life or make that move, you will tell yourself anything just to stay in your comfort zone. You can't enjoy anything if you got to be worried about it. I don't even have to just say relationships. You can't enjoy anything if you have to be constantly looking over your shoulder. And if you're in a connection and every time you go in a restaurant, you swear your spouse is talking to the waiter. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. Is this something you're going to do all the time? Oh, you swear they're looking at somebody. People are going to look where they're going to want to look. People are going to dress how they want to dress. That's another thing that needs to stop. You can't be angry if someone has a beautiful physique and they like to dress revealing and they look nice. They might be sexy or beautiful. Oh, well, they sexy and beautiful. Oh, well, we can't be jealous of that. We can't be angry about that. We can't control people. We can only control ourselves. Yes, this is the read. Like, and it needs to be talked about because it's true. And the first person, I don't be jealous. Oh, yeah. There are people who, if they have a pretty friend in a friend group, they're likely to deliberately not invite that person somewhere because they feel insecure. Or they'll try to gang up on the most handsomest guy or the prettiest girl, male or female. There are friend groups who do that. There are people who do that. That foolishness needs to stop. Confirmation, you hear the horn. People are going to do what they want to do. You cannot control them. You can't control them. You can't control them. Staying in a connection that you know the person is not going to be emotionally available, you playing yourself. But that comes with a lot of risk and danger, and it's just like, come on. That's too much. That's too much. Wanting to fight over people, that needs to stop. That's too much. Because if you want to pull up and fight one person, the person you fighting ain't who you need to be fighting. I'm pretty sure there's 10 others. What you gonna do? Fight every time you hear or see or think something? Male or female? We can't treat each other like we're property, you know. And if something or someone doesn't resonate with you, you have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to surrender it. Like this Capricorn here. I'm just picking up heavy Capricorn. You may not be, but you're no nonsense. You have a lot of respect for yourself. You know, this person may want you to know that you were the best thing in their life, even though they weren't faithful or they lied to you about any situation, having a child, having an affair, having a gambling habit, you know, whatever secrets that they have. That doesn't mean you're not a good catch or you're not someone who's worthy of committing to because you have a bad experience with someone or you've had several bad experiences. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of whatever kind of love life or social life you want to have. That has to stop also. Because any relationship, especially romantically, well, you know what? Any relationship, I'm going to leave it right there and share with you that, you know, we're here in the school of life to learn. Everyone that crosses your path, it's a reason. Sometimes we're able to acknowledge it and find it, and sometimes we aren't. But it's okay. It's no pressure. It's no pressure. You will get the lessons to be learned. Trust me. But those experiences that you have, friendship or romantically, are preparation for the right person to enter your life. Who wants to be in a relationship where people are gossiping? You know, rumors, sipping tea on your tea. Everybody knows what's going on except for you. That's not a funny thing. That's not funny. That's not cool. Nobody wants that. Nobody want to go through that. Especially if you're someone, you know, where you express your love publicly. You're not afraid to be you. You're not afraid of public displays of affection. You're not afraid to say, you know, that's my man, my woman, I love him. You're not afraid, and people know this, but they also know that you got side piece, two piece, three piece, and a biscuit. That can be embarrassing, you know. And then if a person find out, they letting everybody know they love you to the end and back, and then they find out like, wait, you ain't loving me like I'm loving you. That could be very devastating, you know. And emotions getting tied up with each other when you allow yourself to stay in these unhealthy connections. That ain't the way, babe. That is not the way. We both know that I am not the one for you. Okay? So this person could be MIA because They're saying, you know what, you're a good person. I know you found out my lies. I can't face you. You know, if you're going to leave me alone, all right, cool. But yeah, that's for some of you. If this person has been MIA all of a sudden, you know, y'all was talking and texting, and all of a sudden this person just not available. Now, you may get a pop up call out of nowhere with some fantastic, dramatic Walt Disney excuse. You know, you might get some big theatrical event in a conversation. Guess what happened? You know what? You know what that is. Yeah. So yeah, this person is connected and possibly connected to a lot of people, not just one, not a lot of people, male or female. And it does not matter. You may be saying, "Oh, how? I see them every day," or "They was in my." That don't look, honey. That don't mean a thing. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. That don't mean a thing. You were possibly dating a magician, and now this is the disappearing act. Real talk. The more you work at your craft, the better you become. The more you're able, the more you perfect, you enhance your ability, the more swifter you are. And just because you see somebody or talk to them every day, or you can call them anytime, all that means nothing. It's weightless. People are going to do what they're going to do. But Spirit is saying, you choosing yourself is the wonderful option. And if you're someone who's allowing someone to come in and out of your life, leave you alone, come back, leave you alone, come back, leave you alone, just know that you are blocking off other opportunities for yourself, other opportunities that you may have been hoping and wanting. And they're not going to appear when the karmic door is still here. Okay? They're not going to, it's not going to work like that. Well, while I'm dating the buzzer, the hero's going to show up. No, the hero's going to stay in the hero's corner with the hero cape, drinking hero drinks, and waiting for you to close that karmic door. You have to close that cycle out and be through with that person, because there is healing that needs to be done, and there is a gestation period. Okay. All right, Spirit. There is a time and a point where you have to give yourself a breather. You know, not just moving on and on to the next, to the next, to the next. Really taking your time to have a moment to yourself, whether it's a couple of months, a year, or however you do what you do. Everybody is different, you know. But yeah, you have to close this old chapter. You cannot keep that person around and think that the right one is going to show up. You know, this person showing you who they are. The best thing you can do is let them be. Let them be. Because the worst case scenario is you stick around and 10, 20, 30 years go past and you look up and you still tears in your eyes, crying, frustrated, depressed, sad, and miserable. Your whole life done passed you by. You're angry and mad, and they look you right in the face and say, "You know what it was when you met me." Classic. You know what it was when you met me. Classic. Classic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. Comes a point when you have to choose yourself. You have to choose yourself. So many, Spirit is saying, sacrificing themselves just to say that they have somebody. But is that really having somebody when you with somebody and you still feel alone? You know, what kind of relationship is that? What kind of connection is that? You're still unfulfilled. You're still unhappy. You're still worried. You're still I'm picking up a lot of arguments, a lot of disagreements on a daily. over little to nothing. And that's because that's a spiritual nudge for both parties that there is something going on. Now, it may not be that you need to separate, but if two heads aren't coming together, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't be a sock and don't like shoes. You know, you can't be a sleeve and don't like arms. Two people have to make it work, not one. And a miracle is not about to drop down because you have chosen to sacrifice your life for a fake connection that is making you unhappy and making you feel insecure and just keeping you so miserable. What do you have if it's a connection where you're always frantic and ready to panic? What do you have? What is that? Or before you have a conversation, you can't even communicate with them. You're having anxiety stir up inside of you because you know they're going to be resisted when you have the conversation. And this could be about anything. Something that's needed around the house, bills, or your relationship. This could be anything. But you know they're going to snap on you. Like a pit bull. They're going to snap on you. You know it. Like a turtle. And you know it. So you're a little shaky, baby. This is a message. Somebody's spirit team wants them to know, hey, it's time to go love you. This is not me sitting here naming things that I've always wanted to say, to be sarcastic or to hurt someone, because I don't operate out of that space. This is the message. Somebody's ancestors love them so much that they're just trying to send a signal, hey, I'm talking to you. So take what resonates. Take what resonates. Only you know your story. Nobody else knows your story. You know if you're dealing with something or someone that is not for you. You know if you've been sacrificing yourself for a connection and you feel totally ignored. You know if you're that person who's hyper-focused thinking that your spouse is always cheating. You know if you're always reaching for their cell phone. You know if you're always wondering who they talk to. There are some people, and there's a lot of, especially on social media and in the media, conversations, period, about people deciding to grow old by themselves, to stay single. Maybe that is something for you. Maybe what you think is so bad and so negative, you might find out is really what you need. Maybe what you've been running from and passing judgment on when it comes to love, relationships, self-respect, commitment. You may find out some things, not all things, some of those things just might be for you, may work for you. Because sometimes we misjudge. It happens. There was a time I thought Brussels sprouts was just the nastiest. You couldn't get me to look at one, smell one, or taste one. But now my judgment has changed. I love Brussels sprouts. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. See, sometimes we misjudge. We misjudge. Brussels sprouts are actually good. They're not horrible. I didn't know any better. But now I do. Okay? And that's not for everyone, but only you know your story, what you've been through, what you desire, what you want your future to look like. This conversation is really between you and the divine. This is private. Whatever action you take, this is a private thing. It isn't out in the opening. Yeah, but I guess that's the title. Stop self-sacrificing to be in a fake ass. Okay, I ain't gonna make that the title. I really want to, because that's the message. Oof. We had an Ace of Wands. It says breakthrough, inspiration, new direction. So Spirit is saying it's time for you to go in a new direction and be inspired. Let go what does not serve you. And that doesn't mean that this person who you need to leave alone is a bad person. Even if they are sleeping with someone else or have a baby. Guess what that means? It's time for us to look. It's time to talk about it. That don't have nothing to do with you. See, let's talk about it. See, because we're taught and we think and we're programmed and we assume that if we're in a connection and someone cheats, it's all about us. Nope, 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 nope. That person, excuse me, coughing or not, that person has just either their desires have changed, and that doesn't mean that you're unattractive. That doesn't mean you're not a great person. Or there could be many reasons why a person steps out of their relationship. But it's not always connected because it's an assumption. It has nothing to do with what you're doing in your bedroom. It has nothing to do with your aesthetics. You know, the only person, not the only person, excuse me, the only thing that will make a person be faithful or loyal to their spouse collective is a person that simply wants to be. There is nothing special or extra needed. I know, I know. Ooh, let the unlearning sink in. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. This is coming with love. Let it sink in. I know. Oh. We're taught, we believe, we're programmed to think that, oh, if I do this or do that, it don't matter how many pole dancing classes you take. It don't matter what you sleep in at night or how many bonnets you wear. A person that wants to be faithful, loyal, dedicated, however, whatever you call it, will be that if they want to be. And there are people in the world who are faithful, both male and female. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There are people who have been in connections and who are in connections who's never ever crossed the line. So this is someone's story. This message, even when I'm channeling, someone needs to hear this. There's some people who needs to hear this, but because it's time to just break free and save yourself. No more self-sacrificing. Go ahead. It's time so you can have your breakthrough and move your life in a new direction. But see, I just mentioned this. I just said, don't assume if you choose to keep messing with this person who you know is unfaithful, that a new love option is going to pop up or a new opportunity. That's not how it works. I just said that. And look at God. It says breakthrough, inspiration, new direction. So go ahead and release so you can have your breakthrough. So you can meet new people and put your life in a new direction. So you can get a new perspective about love. And first you have to love yourself wholeheartedly. And when you really love yourself, it is seen, it is felt, it is known, and it will magnetize the right person towards you. Not a perfect person, but the right energy towards you. And not just love relationships, friendships also. The right energy. Now there will be some, some weeds in there you might have to pull out. You might do a little pruning every now and then when it comes to your associates. Might have to clip a few. But if you want to magnetize the right energy, you have to be what you're trying to attract. Yeah, you have to be what you're trying to attract. So if you are someone who's saying, well, I only date this kind, that's what you're attracting. So we go back to MJ, the man in the mirror, self. Look at self. Okay, what is it that I'm doing that's attracting this? Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. That's one of them big ones. Yeah, yeah. Eight of Wands, okay, communication, rapid change, domino effect. So you can receive some information that could be a source of communication, okay? This could be a postage letter. This could be an email, a text message, okay? A voicemail, okay? This could be the runaway spouse. Maybe they're going to write you a letter or type you a message. Apologizing, or call me because they didn't put together, they didn't zhuzhed up, they didn't stirred up, they didn't put together a good story, some theatrical, some big event that occurred, or why you ain't heard from them. And that's so you'll stay in the link. They want to keep you in the loop. So if I'm gonna keep you in the loop, and I know I've been dogging you, I gotta give you a good story because I've been MIA. Let me go think of something to tell them. Keep them in the loop. Keep them in a bunch. Chain of Fools, Rita Franklin. I shade Rita Franklin. Chain of Fools. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Chain, 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 chain. Go listen to Rita Franklin. Yeah. Mm. We have the Two of Swords at a crossroads, avoiding the truth. Tough choices. Don't think too long because you're thinking wrong. You're not at a crossroads, and it's not a tough choice because you're going to choose your happiness and choose yourself. You will get over it. And whatever you feel that got you connected, for some of you, not all of you, because I'm picking up, like I said, some of you are cutting ties and you're doing it expeditiously. That means swift and accurately. But there may be some of you who may feel like you're confused, like you're at a crossroads, like, which way should I go? Should I go towards the cheater or should I go be a leader? Go be a leader. Leave that person alone. Leave that fool alone. I'm about to say fool. Let me let it come out right. Leave that fool alone. Yeah. It's just time's up. That's all. Time's up. There's no need to compete. There's no need to be in a connection that makes you feel like you have to compete. There are people who will date you and will purposely, intentionally make you feel like you have to compete. But it's about what you allow. Will you allow that? And if you acknowledge it, will you remove yourself from it? Or will you stay? Surrender, sacrifice. See? Uncertainty. Surrender, sacrifice, uncertainty. So it's time to surrender that, baby. It's time, baby. Yeah. Surrender that. Because we're going to avoid you being in the Five of Coins. Mm-hmm. Worried, disappointed, feeling left out. As I was speaking, like being in a relationship and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but the person that you're with, they all willy nilly. They out here just doing their thing. That's that Five of Pentacles, feeling left out. Nobody wants to do that. Ain't nobody about to do that. Tell them get somebody else to do it. Mm-hmm. All day. Even on your birthday. All day. Yeah. And there's no confrontation. Ooh, your spirit guys love y'all. They coming through with these messages, but they want y'all to know it's time out. I'm picking up. They want y'all to start y'all new year off right. They want you to clean your closet out now. Eminem. They want y'all to clean your closet out right now. They're like, don't wait till midnight. Nah, we want you to handle this business now. They want you to nip it in the bud. We're not just talking about pruning bushes and the plants. They want you to prune it now. They want you to clip it now. I get like prompts. I ain't got my scissors near me. Y'all lucky. Yeah. They want y'all to do it now. For real. For real. They want you to do it right. Like, get rid of this ninja now, male or female. Because this could be a guy going through this with a female that wants to go back and forth. Men go through stuff too. Okay, don't be shocked. Okay, don't be shocked. Have the Six of Swords. Okay, calmer waters, moving ahead and healing. See, now this is gestation period. There we go again. This is what I was talking about. I said before that new love come in, and you have that breakthrough, they want you to separate. But they want you to separate and take time for yourself. Don't just separate and say, oh, I'm about to get back out here dating. No, 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 no. So you can heal and move ahead. You need to give yourself time. to yourself, male or female. You can't let your lower regions, your lower gonads, your lower chakra, don't let that root be out of alignment so much where you're letting your organ pinpoint what moves you make in life. Don't keep it out of alignment. You need to give yourself some time, even if it's a couple of months. You need to work on that. You need to master that. Because if you're allowing your organs to allow these people into your life who's not going to love you right and they don't appreciate you, they showing you what they think about you by how they treat you and what you experience. And you steady offering yourself up. That's what I say, this is a self-sacrifice. Like, go ahead, take my heart. I know you don't, but go ahead. No. Get somebody else to do that. No. Kindred spirits and desire connection is what you want. This is what you want. This is what you want. This is what you are desiring. This is what you want. Kindred spirit and desired connection. But it will arrive after you close this door. Okay? And if you're not dating someone and you have been dating buzzards and ninjas like that, it's time to switch that up. It's time to change that. Yeah, it is. Good news, bright ideas, rushing in, head fast. So this is the opportunities that are coming in for you once you make the right decision moving forward. Even if you're not dating, make sure you're not allowing none of these zeros into your life. You can do bad by yourself. That is so true. You can really do bad by yourself. There is no reason to be in a union and and just be miserable. And you know what? May this message find who really needs the inspiration and who needs to hear it. And I know people don't like the truth. I know nobody does, but hey, it is what it is. But that's the only way. It's time to. Now they're saying no more chances. So if you're someone who, I'll give them a pass. They can cheat once or twice. I'll give them a pass. Spirit is saying it's time to let all that giving passes go. Live your life, meet people, date people, do what makes you happy, collective. But it's time to stop all that because that energy of, I'm gonna give them a pass. People know when you're one of those types, male or female. People know if they can get over on you. People know if you're gonna let something just ride off like, that. They ain't gonna be mad. They'll get over it. People know that. That's not good. That means they can be plotting, plotting to run game on you. They don't play with your heart like that. You gotta cover the tatas up. Find strength. Find the strength to move forward. Yeah. Find the strength. And you have a lot of good qualities, you have a lot of good qualities and oftentimes when you're in a connection, that's unhealthy and it has you not feeling like your original self, you can often mess around and spend so much time trying to protect and hoping that somebody change that you miss out on stepping into your real true power. You miss out on the leadership qualities. It says natural leader, innovative, and a visionary. You miss out on those opportunities the more you stick around. And as I was speaking about earlier, time passing by, years, months, a week. And, and if you see this message and you're saying, oh, I'm too old. No, you're not. It's never too old to be great. It's never too late to be great. You're never too old to be great. It's never too late to be great. It's never too late to leave a bad situation. You're never too old. Age, look, don't be telling yourself them excuses. But sometimes, a person, a lot of times, and I'm pretty sure, it's sad to say that collective, you may know some people. If this is not your story, you may know someone who's going through this, who's in a connection that has them feeling like a zero. And they are very smart. They got a lot of qualities about them. They can be very beautiful or handsome, a lot of skill, but they don't see it. They have low self-esteem. And people prey on that energy. They know if whether you weak or not. Folks know if you weak. Folks know it. They know if you're a buster, yo. Yeah. Ask somebody, I don't know nothing. Ask somebody else, I don't know nothing. But you miss out on being innovative, of being a leader, of being your original self. You miss out on those things in life. And that's coming up here now. The wonderful attributes of the life that we live. What about you experiencing things that you always wanted to do? Places you wanted to travel, things. What about you? One second tonight. Yeah, so what about stuff that you always wanted to do? We all have goals and dreams and stuff we like to build, start. What about you? You have stories every day of people going back to school and getting their doctor's degrees and doing all kinds, getting their law degrees. And these people be in their 80s and 70s and 90s. You know what? I find stuff like that to be very inspirational. They didn't say, "Oh, I'm too old." No, they living their life and following their dreams. You know, don't be so busy chasing a fake love that you forget to chase your dreams. If you're gonna chase anything, don't be so busy chasing a fake love that you forget to chase your dreams. Now that's a sacrifice, but there are people who do that. They'll stay in that connection, and male or female, and family and friends will see it. And it be those kind of connections where, the family be like, well, we ain't gonna say nothing. We try to tell them, we'll help them. But, and what can you do? You can't do nothing but, I mean, like, well, I hope that they leave them, but they choose to stay. Hopefully ain't nobody get no hands laid on them. Hopefully not. Hopefully ain't nobody getting handsy with you, collective, or somebody you know. Mm-mm. Don't let nobody get handsy with you. Mm-mm. See, here's that new energy. King of Cups. Non-toxic. Masculinity. Emotional maturity. And compassion. This person is emotionally mature and non-toxic. Meaning what you see is what you get. Like if you were to this is the kind of energy where they're straightforward with you. They're not gonna lie to you. If they don't want to be in a committed relationship, so what you looking for? A relationship? No, I don't want a relationship. I'm just dating only. And if you choose to go forward, that's on you. You know, versus dating this buzzard and they're lying about who they are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pick up the pieces. It's time to pick up the pieces, collective. This is not your story. This is somebody that you know. I mean, because you know what? It's very devaluing, if that is a word, to stick around in a connection that you know you're miserable You know your spouse miserable. Both y'all unhappy. And every day, repeatedly, you look in the mirror knowing that you in a fake connection. Yo, that's depleting within itself. There's no pleasure in that. There's no pleasure in that. There's no fun in that. Yeah. There's no fun in that. This message is for a large group of people. May this message find a person who needs to hear it. And if it's not your story, may you share it with someone who needs to hear it. It's about the heart. Don't break your own heart. Protect your heart at all costs. Protect your heart, protect your peace. Mm-hmm. We got tree here. Didn't I say pruning? Clip it early, pruning. Mm-hmm. Don't forget about what you were put here to do. Don't forget about your divine purpose. You're not just put here just to be in a relationship. To experience a loving relationship is just one of the attributes to life. There are many things that we are put here to do. Now, we all won't do the same thing. That's not what I'm conveying. But we are limitless beings. There's so much. There's so many depths. We're multidimensional. So many levels of life to explore and to enjoy. Don't forget, this tree here is representing your ancestors. They want you to know through this message, this is confirmation. This isn't a coincidence. It's like being in church and you feel like the preacher talking to you and you be like, how they know my business? We have the moon. You've waited long enough. And you have. And for some of you, this could be someone you've dated within the last 6 months. But maybe you've had what would they call that? A inkling? A suspicion? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of candle cleaning. A lot of me cleaning my nose through the reed. But anyway. All right, so we have fish here. This is confirming, this is confirming what we already discussed here. Someone could have a child, could have a family. And this is also conveying that there are plenty of fish in the sea. God didn't just make and create one human being. Don't feel or think that it's not possible for you to meet new energy. Don't feel or think it's not possible for you to experience someone else. The saying that there's somebody for everybody, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That is true. It's time for you to work on making your own house a home. Harmony, love, peace. Your home should be your peace haven. Let's talk about it. But if you have this going on, this ain't a peace haven. If someone is not being honest, that's not peace. If you're constantly worried about someone trying to flirt with your spouse, that's not peace. That's not peace. That's not harmony. That's not a happy home. If you're constantly arguing with your spouse, that's not peace. If you can't even have effective communication, and I'm talking about something simple as, hey, baby, how was your day? Instead of, what the fuck you want? Mm-hmm. I like this one here. The dog. The dog, man's best friend. With best friend here, you should have some kind of friendship with your spouse. You should have. You should be able to have effective communication. As I mentioned earlier, there's someone who's afraid to even communicate with their spouse because they're always on 100. They're always on edge. They're always mad about something. And sometimes it gets so frustrating for you. You be like, oh, I don't even want to hear this ninja mouth, And that's not harmony in the home. That's a lot of low vibrational energy that needs to be dissipated. And whatever measures need to be taken, you have to move forward on those because how long? You never want to force yourself where you know you're not wanted. I mean, let's talk about it for a minute. Nobody wants to be a breaking news story where somebody end up snapping on you because, forcing yourself to be somewhere where you're not wanted. There is hope, but it's time to whip things into shape, and just being honest with yourself. Taking your time. Things take time. It don't happen overnight. But taking your time and doing what needs to be done. If it's separation, hey, it's separation. If it's somebody relocating, hey, it's relocating. It may cause for you to make some kind of adjustments. Well, adjustments, here we come. You don't have to be anxious and frustrated, but it's possible to move forward. Doesn't matter how long you feel that you've been in this unhealthy connection. Because I'm picking up that someone is doubting themselves. And Spirit is saying they have no idea on how easy this could be. And there's so much relief. Someone very close to me used to always tell me, your answer's on the other side of fear. They would always tell me that. And that is so true. The things that you fear, your answer's on the other side. And no matter who you are or what you're going through, if you don't face your fear, guess what? We'll never know. You never know. Boom, 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 boom. you know? You have to, and it's not easy. It's not. It's not. Be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself. But it's time for you to water the garden, your own garden. Self-preservation, you know. And this doesn't have to be done, when you're going to separate or you plan on leaving someone. This doesn't have to be done with confrontation. It's okay to let them know, hey, I don't want to be together no more. Of course, voice that. But it doesn't have to be done in a way where things are confrontational, where it's hostility. All that doesn't have to take place. It's a wrap. I'm out. That's it. And then take your actions. Make your plan. Take your actions. If it's leaving that house, leave that house. If maybe you got to stay somewhere else until you find your own, do that. You know. Oh, I'm driving their car. Well, give them their keys. Download the Uber app. Like straight up, you have to really be strong. You have to be strong. What is it? That's Spirit say, be strong. Find the strength. Find the strength. Someone can have Leo placement in their chart somewhere. Mm-hmm. Find the strength. Someone could love cats as well. Maybe you have two cats. Maybe a brown one. Yeah. Yeah. No more. Because whatever unhappiness and also for someone, it could be in a connection and it's the problem may be not even cheating. The problem could be maybe just hanging out. Maybe somebody like to they like the vices. They like to party a lot. Okay. They don't have boundaries or limitations. And maybe it's affecting the relationship or affecting their ability to make the right choice. And that can be creating a lot of stress and wearing the connection down or having you in an uproar about responsibilities of the home. What comes first? Home. You could be in a connection where you're the one that's prioritizing, and hey, you want your spouse to prioritize. You like, I love you, baby, but look, you gotta look out like I look out. Now, if I know we run out of tissue and it's on sale, I go bad. I want you to do the same thing. Yeah, that's what somebody need to hear that. Yeah, if it ain't you, well, your spouse wants you to hear that. So that tissue on sale, you get it. It don't matter that you went to Walmart for one item. Pick up the tissue. Don't you see it's on sale? Pick up the soap. Pick up the laundry detergent. Don't burn out one person doing everything. So what, you give them the money? Buy it anyway. Well, you know. So this is a wonderful time to go within, whether you're whatever your practice or beliefs is, but go within yourself and anchor yourself. And Spirit is saying you already know what decision needs to be made. You know what steps to take as well. You already know. You already know. You already know. That's another song. Okay. You already know what needs to be done. Look, there are many reasons why people link up. There are many reasons why people choose to stay. But Spirit is clearly saying that choosing to stay in any situation that is unhealthy will only deplete you of your lifespan, of your opportunity, and your ability to walk in your purpose and be your full self, the true you, your true nature. To walk into your purpose and stand in your power. That can't be done when you're dealing with any kind of connection that's unhealthy. Romantic connections as well as relationships, friendships. You know, if you have a friend group or associates, where you can't be yourself because maybe you have, I don't know, some kind of guilt because you're one way and maybe your friend isn't. You're a go getter. You're ambitious and they aren't. You don't have to have survivor's remorse or, excuse me, confirmation with that belch. Or you don't have to have survivor's remorse or not be who you are or turn down your light or you don't have to do all that to appease nobody. Mm-mm. No, no, no. Mm-mm. If they are a true friend, indeed, you will find that out. And then everybody is not, and all your friends aren't going to be in your life forever. Some of them are meant to come in your life. You experience each other and move on. Now, that doesn't mean they're a terrible person. That means they were there for a moment for you to learn a lesson or to experience them for a moment. Hmm. But never deal with any connection that does not allow you to be yourself. Never be around people, who have a problem with your belief system. I did a reading the other day about someone being judged because they were part of the LGBT community and they're being judged and just experiencing a lot of disrespect. I forgot the title of that read, but it came up very strongly. And I was saying, go where the love is, go where you are respected, go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. If someone is passing judgment on you because of your sexual preference or who you choose to love, well, you just simply need not to be around that person or them people. You don't have to stop being you. That's not fair. That is not fair. Yeah, that's not fair for someone to even expect that. I'm gonna tease you and poke at you and make fun of you because of who you choose to love. Oh no, don't deal with them. Go where the love is. Vibe with your tribe. People show you, they don't resonate with you. Yeah, you don't need to get upset. Vibe with your tribe. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. There ain't no words need to be exchanged. We need to say less collective and do more. Less conversation when it comes to life and take more action. Less talk, more action. So we have ship here. Now it doesn't matter who you are, what your zodiac sign is, what kind of moisturizer you use. I'm pretty sure you want to experience just a little bit of success, of happiness. I'm pretty sure you want to conquer. You have some kind of goal that you would like to conquer. So with the card ship being here, this is representing your ships coming in. Ships of prosperity, abundance, opportunity, favor. This could represent many things. Each sail up here could represent lots of favors. This could be a loving relationship, starting a business, going back to school. This could be a lot of things, buying a home, new car, working on a skill or a hobby, critiquing your gifts. So this can represent many things for you. And so Spirit is saying for you not to miss out. Like I mentioned, for your opportunity to come in of the right person with the lovers here. Kindred spirits desire connection. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity. And so that's why it's important to take the necessary steps. You are so worthy of being loved the right way. They can't love you right. They don't need to love you at all. Okay? So we have star here. And this star goes with the breakthrough card that I was mentioning, Don't miss out on your opportunity of progress and breakthrough in your life. And I was speaking about how some people sacrifice themselves with this whole read. We've been speaking about people sacrificing themselves just to say that they have someone, that they're married or they're in a relationship. But in reality, they're really miserable. They're fed up, they're tired, and they want to do something different. Do not stay and dim your light and not allow the star player to shine. And I also brought up sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes who you choose just may intercept you walking into your purpose, fulfilling your contractual duties, living your best life, doing what you love. This star could represent many things. Maybe what you're interested in, your spouse could have a problem with that. Maybe they don't want you doing that, or they don't want to be married to somebody that does that, or they have a different belief about this. Could be many things. You could want to go back to college and further your education, and they don't believe in that. Oh, because of AI, you don't need to go to college. And people can go wherever they want to go. Like, I'm picking that up. You want to go further your education, go for it. Don't let nothing stop you. Who cares what somebody else thinks about the economy? Right now, it's about you. You are the MVP. You are the star player. You are the captain of your own ship. You are the one that matters the most. You are the most valuable person. If your cup is not full, then how can you assist anyone else? Hmm. And often, I gotta say often, collective, when you're in a connection with a person who isn't respectful or considerate to do their part, whether it's them cheating, having a baby on the side, if they had a gambling habit, a drinking habit. I picked that up earlier, that someone gets excessively wasted and it affects the connection, the way you communicate and everything. They notice. They notice. They know that you are a star. They know that you are smart, beautiful, handsome, intelligent, confident. They know that you have so many beautiful attributes and aspects of you that they don't want this to shine. They don't want this to be revealed. This could be many things. Maybe you're going to be, maybe you're going to be okay, or you're going to be world renowned. All right, spirit. Maybe you do have a beautiful singing voice. Okay. On key or off key, I'll sing it proudly. You don't want to take me to karaoke. I'll sing everything on the list. I don't be caring. I sound good. Ooh, I sound good. Yeah. Most likely they are aware. And it's sad to say, but there are people out here that's like that. That you meet, that you date romantically, and friendships also. They see your light. They know you smart. They know that you're going to be successful. They know that. So be mindful if it's something you want to do. And your friend or your spouse is trying to like, you saying yay, they saying nay. Better let that marinate. Be mindful. Like, think about that for a minute. Yeah. It's time to choose yourself. Your ancestors want you to clean out your closet early. So yeah, there are people who will date you and know it. And no, they're not gonna say it. They're not gonna be like, oh, you so talented, or you so beautiful, you should model, or you so smart, you can be an artist. No, collective, they're not gonna tell you because some of these people be covert. You started off with the mask card. It's up under here. I ain't gonna mess the cards up, but the mask came out. They're hiding who they are. There are a lot of people that we roam past on a daily who are hiding who they are. We shake a lot of hands of people who are hiding who they are. We speak to and talk to people who are hiding who they are. And I'm not saying that a person has to give you their social security number or their blueprint or a urine sample, but either way, yeah, everybody don't want you to win, baby. Mm-hmm. Two birds. It says gossip. Yeah, and see, this came out earlier. Sipping tea. People sipping tea. Forget it. I'm gonna mess the cards up. Forget it. Sipping tea. Sipping tea. Gossip, rumors. I said, who wants to be in a connection where everybody knows what's up except for you? Everybody know that you love your mate, your spouse. Everybody know that you're crazy about them. You'll do anything, but they also know about the infidelity. They also know about other stuff going on. Who wants to be the fool? Look, birds. This represent gossip, chitter chatter. Yeah, yeah. Somebody got a baby out here. Yeah, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. Yeah. If you're gonna be a rider, ride for yourself by standing in your power. That's who you ride for. Ride for yourself. Yeah. I said somebody got a baby, the stork. And I said, you're gonna find out. Let me see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might, this is a connection, you may look, it's just not worthy. Someone didn't honor their vows with a ring here. Someone didn't honor their vows. That's for some people, if you're married. Yeah, someone did not honor their vows. And as I said, this is somebody who has a lifestyle of getting away, with doing this. This is they could be somewhere kikiing about it. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. You're not at a crossroads. You know which way to go. You know which way to go. You know what moves to be made. You know that you're going to be fine also and taken care of. If you are concerned about money, finances, something financial, if you separate, you're concerned about something financial, you know it'll be taken care of. But it's time to put it to rest. It really is. This person has had enough. It's time. That's the casket there. It's time to put it to rest. Let this person get away with no more. They've done enough. Your ancestors are saying they've done enough. Look how long they got me on this read. What I got? 4 different kind of cards out here. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's time to put this snake to rest. This person is a snake. And I'm getting, once again, they're somewhere laughing about this. So, yeah, and also, I just got to say it. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. There are people, whether you're married to them or not, it don't matter if you've been knowing them a long time or not, they will cut up on you on purpose so you can go on about your business. That sound cowardly? Well, that's exactly what it is. And so the message is that you have the key to stop offering yourself as a sacrifice and open the opportunity of you being honored and respected in relationships and connections that has reciprocity and that are nurturing to your well-being, that does not deplete you or have you furious or anxious or on a daily in constant friction. in an upheaval, unable to communicate effectively in your own home, not having harmony in your own home, driving up in your driveway and knowing behind that door is turmoil, knowing that there's someone waiting for you there that really does not show or give confirmation that the love is genuine or consistent. That's not a beautiful feeling. So you have the key to letting the sun back into your life. And you're not at a crossroads. They keep telling me to repeat that to you. You know what needs to be done, and your ancestors want you to make a move. Take action and make a move, because you will be supported and you are worthy of being loved. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're big, small, medium, tall, short, long hair, cocoa, chocolate, brown, pink, purple, plaid, blue. You are worthy of being loved. That's part of the message. That's why I said it. And so hopefully someone is not body shaming you. But if they are, you really should have been gone. Go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. You have the keys, and the sun is waiting to shine in your life, but you have to close the door. Being in pity, feeling sorry for yourself will never help you win. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ask somebody else who knows. Later.